Grand Prix of the 1995 season and the 11th and last Australian Grand Prix to be held around the streets of Adelaide.
Adelaide 95. Your crash. What can you remember?
All the onlookers, including myself, were filled with the romance of motor racing, until the McLaren driver Mika Häkkinen reminded us that Formula One is not only glamorous and sexy and fabulously exciting, it is also dangerous.
And there, Mika Häkkinen, that looks unpleasant. There's a big shot. Mika Häkkinen has gone sideways heavily into the tyre wall.
Did you see what happened?
McLaren Formula One driver Mika Häkkinen is in stable condition in hospital with a serious head injury after he crashed heavily during the first qualifying session for Sunday's Australian Grand Prix. Doctors say the driver's life is not in danger.
So Häkkinen was gonna live, but the question in the F1 world was, would he be able to come back?
Monacossa Mika kuntoili tavoitteenaan paluu formulan rattiin. Häntä eivät maailmalla liikkuneet huhut heikosta terveydentilasta häirinneet. Tammikuussa saatiin jo ensimmäiset vahvistukset sille, että Mika on palaamassa radalle.
Why do you keep needing to do this? What's the point? Just come close to not being around, and why do you feel you need to go and get back in a race car? But that's the maketh, that's what makes us tick.
But then something says in a head that way, I have a mission here. I've been doing this sport all my life. I'm here to win.
Vuonna 1968 syntynyt pikkupoika sai ensimmäisen oman kypäränsä 5-vuotis syntymäpäivälahjakseen vanhemmiltaan Aila ja Harri Häkkiseltä. Yli 10 vuoden karting-uransa aikana Häkkinen voitti eri luokissa 5 Suomen mestaruutta ja kilpaili menestyksellisesti myös ulkomailla. Kovimpiin kilpakumppaneihin lukeutui alusta saakka naapuritalon poika Mika Salo.
In 1987, Mika will transition from karts to Formula cars and will immediately go on to win the Finnish, Swedish and Nordic Formula 4 championships. In 88, Mika will move off to a new series of Formula Opel Lotus and will go on to have success in that also.
Ehkä mä siteeraisin tässä ystäväni Kekeä, kun hän oli sitten katsomassa ensimmäistä Formula Opel Lotus osakilpailua ja soitti ja sanoi, että kyllähän se kova ajaa, mutta hulluhan se on.
Tarina kertoo, että heti ensimmäisellä kierroksellaan suomalainen tuli pääsuoraa edeltävän kaarteen niin kovaa, että Benettonin mekaanikot Silverstonen varikkomuurilla katsoivat parhaaksi juosta nopeasti hieman turvallisempaan paikkaan katselemaan. Häkkistä itseään vauhti ei järkyttänyt millään tavalla.
Mä odotin kyllä enemmän, että olisi ollut potkua vähän enemmän, mutta se oli mulla pikkasen yllätys, ettei se ollutkaan niin hirveä tykki.
On erittäin poikkeuksellista, että nuori kuljettaja nousee rata-autoilun korkeimmalle huipulle, Formula 1:iin, ilman kilpailukokemusta F3000-luokasta. Mika Häkkisen Lotus-sopimuksen arkkitehtinä hääräsi jo useamman vuoden hänen managerinaan toiminut Keke Roosberg.
When he leapt up into Formula One with Lotus, it didn't surprise me at all. He had great pace. They weren't particularly competitive at that time, so Lotus wasn't the best place for him, but it gave him a lot of learning abilities at that stage.
Senna voittaja, Berger toinen, Seitse Lehto kolmas, Martini neljäs, Mika Häkkinen viides. Uskomaton päivä, Keke. Miltä tuntuu? Uskomattomalta.
Niin Mika, tällä hetkellä Lotus-tiimi ilmeisesti on voimakkaan muutosprosessin kynsissä.
No todellakin, koska meillä nyt tulee 2 uutta autoa tuonne Monaco Grand Prix, joka ajetaan nyt seuraavan viikon loppuna, niin katsotaan miten se menee.
2 Lotuses in the top 6. Mika Häkkinen in the Lotus, bringing that home in 6th place. So Häkkinen running in 4th place. Häkkinen now ahead of Martin Brundle. Mika Häkkinen recording his 6th points finish of the season.
Syksy 1992 oli Formula 1 neuvottelurintamalla harvinaisen kuuma. Mika Häkkisen tallipaikasta käytiin kovaa kulissien takaista vääntöä.
1992, your last season at Lotus. There was talk of you joining Williams for 93 instead of Damon Hill.
I was in a fantastic situation because we did get a lot of offers from different teams to join because they saw my ability. They said, we want this guy. So there was quite a few teams and Williams was one of them, McLaren.
So why McLaren?
In McLaren there is a very strong history and the drivers are treated differently. When the Ron said, Mika, sorry, no racing, you will be test driver. But he said, Mika, I promise you will be racing with us.
Mika Häkkinen's prayers were answered at Estoril.
Andretti's departure had promoted him from test driver to Senna's number 2.
So I had to go straight to business, and I focus only on going to Portugal to kick Ayrton's ass.
Surprise packet, Mika Häkkinen, having out-qualified his illustrious teammate Ayrton Senna.
Portugalin Australian Grand Prix, kun mä vedin sitä nopeampaa, ja Ayrton kysyi, että miten ihmeessä pystyt ajaa kovempaa. Mä näytin vaan, että bigger balls.
There must have been a sense of relief that we've got a guy who can replace Ayrton Senna right here in our car. There must have been that feeling as well.
Absolutely.
Going into 1994, Häkkinen was McLaren's number 1 driver, as Senna had left the team to join Williams.
Can you talk a little bit about Ron and what he did for your career?
Well, he knew what he was doing. He did employ a good racing driver. I think he knew that way I'm a loyal person, and I'm talented, and I have a room to develop. I think it was important for Ron also that he did not to have a guy who was a superstar, just a normal guy. I think Ron gave me a lot of time to learn from mistakes.
Mika Häkkinen will be replaced in Hungary by Philippe Alliot following the steward's decision to ban him for 1 race, laying the blame for the first corner accident firmly at the feet of the young Finn.
Straight into the wall, the race will be stopped. But look at that, the car's all over the place, and that is Mika Häkkinen again. I say again.
It was very difficult to get the results. Either mechanical failures or the performance wasn't good, so very difficult time.
Going into 95, McLaren had secured a new engine partner, Mercedes, which will start a new era for both companies, but it didn't get off to a perfect start.
95 was a really hard year. Mercedes had a high expectations. Car didn't work really well in 95. Also what happened with Nigel Mansell, he arrived to the team but didn't last too long. Very difficult year. And then the accident. I mean, wow.
The 27-year-old was rushed to hospital after losing control of his car at close to 250 kilometers an hour.
There was a tire explosion, and of course it was in a most horrible corner where the speed is really high.
Häkkinen is tonight in the intensive care unit undergoing further treatment. A short time ago, the hospital confirmed he'd suffered head injuries.
So I hit the barrier, cracked my skull, and I remember when I was in a car, I couldn't move. I just decided to just relax. Then the doctors came and then I passed out.
But gladly, he's recovering well, he's stable, and in fact this morning he's responding to people's voices and he's getting some movement. So it means that the mind is working, which is, I think, a great relief to everyone.
What I remember, it was just constantly waiting, painkillers, tablets all the time to take the pain away.
But how soon during the course of this process were you starting to think about racing again?
It took a really long time. I just wanted to live.
How long did it take you to get over it?
I don't think...
Do you ever get over something like
that? No, I don't think... you don't never get over it. I wanted to go back to racing after time, so you ignore it. You stop thinking about it. You just have to go for your racing performance.
Monacossa Mika kuntoili tavoitteenaan paluu formulan rattiin. Häntä eivät maailmalla liikkuneet huhut heikosta terveydentilasta häirinneet. Tammikuussa saatiin jo ensimmäiset vahvistukset sille, että Mika on palaamassa radalle.
You have a lot of guts, I think that's why.
Viime maanantaina helmikuun 5. päivänä se sitten tapahtui. Mika ajoi ensimmäisen kerran McLarenilla onnettomuutensa jälkeen. Julkisuuteen tihkuneet tiedot kertoivat Mikan olevan huippukunnossa, mutta mikä on totuus, se selviää pian. Vaikuttiko raju ulosajo Mikaan henkisesti? Palaako hän vielä huipulle?
Third place, Mika Häkkinen for McLaren Mercedes, the 27-year-old Finn. This was expected to be an emotional moment for him.
Well, I don't know if it's emotional, but it is fantastic feeling. I mean, these two guys were too quick today.
Coulthard joins Häkkinen at McLaren, the new MP411 powered by Mercedes as before.
That era felt like it was Mika Häkkinen's team.
When I joined the team for 96, I did so leaving a winning Williams.
We didn't have a very good start with David and me, in my opinion.
Why?
You know, Scottish guy and coming there that way, I'm the number one.
But at the very first Grand Prix of 96, Ron Dennis walks into the engineering office. I instinctively stand up, you know, it's the owner of the team, ready to shake his hand. He walks in, ignores me, hunches down behind Mika and his engineers and goes, "What are we doing?" And they start talking. And then he goes, "What are they doing?"
And I saw in David very first time when I see him, it was very difficult to trust me. And I felt very uncomfortable, when you have somebody who doesn't trust you.
And it took me many years with Ron, many meetings of me going, you're supporting Mika more, and he'd be like, no. And then eventually, after several years, he went, I nearly lost Mika in my car. I've never lost a driver in my car, and I have a paternal feeling towards him.
Ron Dennis said to me, Mika, you will win with us. You will be world champion. And I look at him and said, okay, let's fight, let's go through this difficult time, and I trust you.
This has broken the drought for McLaren and Mercedes. There will be the most enormous rejoicing. This is the first race they have won for 50 races. They thought that it was going to be a dreadful anniversary. Instead, it's a brilliant success.
Victory eluded Häkkinen for a couple times this season, but the floodgates will open for him at the last race of the season in Jerez.
4, 5, pause. And it's go, 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 go. Villeneuve gets away and Schumacher gets away. Better.
Villeneuve is all over him, look. He's going through. Oh, yes.
Oh,
I don't think.
Out goes Michael Schumacher.
That didn't work, Michael. You hit the wrong part of him, my friend. Into the last corner. Those two having their own private battle. As meanwhile...
Mika Häkkinen goes through and takes David Coulthard.
Coulthard lifted off for sure.
And I'm being told to move over for Mika. And initially I'm on the radio saying, no, why should I move over? And for several laps, I'm like, no, I'm not moving. And then eventually the message was, you're compromising your position within the team, which that to me sounded very much like, you'll get fired.
I don't know exactly what happened, but a strange place to overtake David, but it was for my benefit, it was fantastic.
And he does it! Let him through! Häkkinen is going to win! Häkkinen is going to win the European Grand Prix. David Coulthard goes second, and Jack Villeneuve second settles for third place and the World Championship of 1997.
They always used to think you don't know how to win a race until you've won a race. Once Mika had that breakthrough win, he just went up and up and up in stature.
It's a famous victory for McLaren, Mercedes and for Bridgestone. It's the first Bridgestone Grand Prix victory. Not only first, but second as well.
Tears of joy for Mika, possibly tears of a different sort for the opposition. McLaren leaving the Formula One world shaken. And Häkkinen makes it 2 in a row, winning the Brazilian Grand Prix from Coulthard, with Schumacher a full minute behind in third.
Now you and David, between the two of you, almost lapped the whole field. How come McLaren is just so much better than the other cars at the moment?
It's one very simple reason, probably.
A revolutionary braking system fitted to their cars was subject to a protest. But could the removal of the system affect the McLaren supremacy?
How was the rivalry between you and Michael developing at that time? What was the particularly threatening aspect of Michael Schumacher as an opponent?
Michael was definitely on edge. His approach of winning was that there was no fear. There was not thinking that I can get hurt or somebody else can get hurt. I knew he was good, but I never would think that he's better than me.
Mika Häkkinen is victorious, taking his 7th win of the year. The Finn blowing away Ferrari as Schumacher finishes in 2nd place. The Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka is the venue for the final and deciding round of the FIA 1998 Formula One World Championship.
Some kind of problem.
Schumacher puncture.
Is that a right rear puncture?
It's all happening to Michael Schumacher today. And he's coming, he tours out of the race.
Mika Häkkinen on maailmanmestari kaudella 98. Schumacher joutuu keskeyttämään. Liput salkoon. Nyt saa tuulettaa. Nyt saa tuulettaa. Mika on maailmanmestari keke.
Having realized his dream of becoming the world champion, life didn't get any easier for Mika. He still had to keep his foot flat to the floor.
End of the 98, I was really busy. All the promotions, marketing around the world, and I mean, Jesus, I was so busy. And I didn't really have time to sit down and think about it. And we had a quick car in 99, but it's so much in the edge.
Mika Häkkinen, very bad luck. What happened?
Well, something what I didn't want to happen. So I went off. Driving mistake.
Oh, come on, sorry. Mika Häkkinen collides
I knew that way, even we had an advance in start of the season, I knew it's not going to take long. Michael will catch us sooner or later. But then he had his incident.
And it is go at Silverstone!
That's Schumacher, isn't it? Michael slamming the steering wheel. I don't know whether it's through frustration that he's out of the race or frustration because he knows he's injured something.
Even though Schumacher was now out of the picture, the championship fight didn't get any easier for Häkkinen and McLaren.
Michael Schumacher absent, out for some 6 to 8 weeks in total. In his absence, Mika Häkkinen, Eddie Irvine were hoping to make a serious challenge in the Drivers' Championship.
I thought this is going to make the season easier, but it was not easier. You know, I had again unbelievable situations.
Is that a McLaren? That's Häkkinen, lost his left rear. Car's going round. Häkkinen's left front, probably an end fence of a front wing. Oh, Coulthard and Häkkinen touch.
And off goes the McLaren! Off goes the McLaren in Mika Häkkinen! Mika Häkkinen is off the track!
He was always shadow of Michael, and now finally he got attention from the team. And I think the Ferrari was also on a good way of developing a car. I had a massive fever before the race. I was not feeling so good, but I didn't want to tell that to anybody. Again, the car was quick, but it was difficult to drive.
Oh, and that's Häkkinen spinning!
Häkkinen, the race leader! He's out of the race! He's out of the race!
I was leading comfortably, and I spun. And I was so angry for myself. So angry, and I was so disappointed of myself.
Real men never cry.
The penultimate round takes the championship to the Far East and Malaysia for the first time, and welcomes the return of Michael Schumacher. The German has missed the last 6 rounds and has some good advice on how Irvine and Ferrari can win the championship.
Drive fast, don't crash.
Schumacher was stunning in qualifying, taking pole with ease.
We expected to be strong, but to be second ahead, that was clearly surprising.
And that was the toughest race ever I had done in Formula 1. And I was quicker than Michael, but he closed the door everywhere. So I ended up third, Eddie first, Michael second. And of course there was a big discussion about the aerodynamics, what they had in that car.
After the Malaysian Grand Prix, the winning cars were scrutinised as usual, and the barge boards were found not to comply with the rules.
The Ferraris were declared illegal and excluded from the results. Mika Häkkinen and McLaren were the 1999 world champions. Ferrari said they'd appeal.
Court of Appeal decided to overturn the decision of the stewards, and therefore the original result of the race stands in its entirety.
In order to be sure of back-to-back titles, Häkkinen had to stay in front of the Ferraris, and he pulled off one of his best ever starts when he needed it most.
Action! And Michael Schumacher darts across, but Mika Häkkinen gets ahead of him.
Yes.
Mika Häkkinen a marvellous start, and he's streaking away already. This is exactly what the Finn wanted.
The feeling when you were world champion once again, the feeling of successfully defending the title was what?
Mika tulee maailmanmestari! Mika on maailmanmestari! Loistavaa työtä! Aivan mahtavaa, Keke! Onneksi olkoon myös sinulle!
Uskomaton kilpailu Mikalta.
Finishing the championship in the last Grand Prix is the hardest what can ever happen. I said to David, we had a dinner after the Grand Prix in Suzuka. And I said to David, just come on, next year is your turn. I cannot do this anymore. I was so tired. I could not believe it, how much energy, the effort it takes to win the world championship. It was awful.
I hope it's enough already.
Thank you, Mika.
So you retire?
I felt that way, I'm here to win. And if I'm not do 100% job, I don't do favor. But when we went to year 2000, I was still motivated.
A flawless drive from pole position to checkered flag. The Finn reminds everyone why he's the reigning world champion. Schumacher suddenly spins in a cloud of tyre smoke. Catastrophe for Ferrari at the first corner. A first-class victory for Mika Häkkinen. Shot in the Ferrari camp. The engine is blown on Michael Schumacher's car. He takes it steady in the last 3 laps, but is soon waved to victory by the checkered flag.
Going into the last 3 races, Häkkinen led Schumacher by 2 points, but that would all change at Indianapolis.
It was the Mercedes engine. It blew up and that destroyed Mika's chance to really fight for the championship.
A great shame for Mercedes, a great shame for McLaren. Disconsolate Mika Häkkinen, but I think that the mood that he's in this year, he's going to fight back.
The tension is genuinely well bearable. My palms are literally sweating.
Okay, I've spoken to you the last 2 years on this very piece of tarmac. You went on to win the race. You're going to do the same today?
Yes, that's the plan.
5 lights of the Japanese Grand Prix. He's go, and Michael Schumacher cuts straight across and drives Mika Häkkinen towards the wall. But Häkkinen's done it again. He's taken the lead as he did last year and the year before.
Lap 40 and Ferrari need to work quick if they want to keep the lead. It's an outstanding stop, the quickest of the race, having encountered more traffic. Häkkinen has barely come out of turn 18 as Schumacher exits the pit lane.
It shows what a worthy double world champion Mika Häkkinen is. He refuses to give up.
It's been a long time coming, but Ferrari have finally spawned another world champion.
You've been a superb world champion for the last 2 years, but your reign for now is over. How do you feel?
So sad. Anyway, congratulations for Michael anyway, really, doing great season, very tough, first of all. It's sometimes some other drivers' turn to win. And to be a good winner, sometimes you have to be a good loser too.
2001, I knew that this is going to be my last season in Formula One.
Adrian Newey and Ron Dennis find it hard to deal with another Häkkinen retirement. He's only scored 4 points so far this season.
Go! Great start by Schumacher. Häkkinen stalled. Everyone goes around the back of him, and Häkkinen has stalled from P3. Schumacher leads into the first corner, and it is Mika Häkkinen who is sitting on the line.
Niin, Häkkisellä on ongelmia. Pyörittelee päätään. Mika Häkkisellä on ongelmia. Ei voi olla totta. Ei, viimeinen kierros. Ei voi olla totta.
He had a suspension failure, bit his tongue and had a lot of blood in his mouth, and I think that brought back memories.
By the time F1 arrived in Monaco, it was clear Häkkinen wasn't going to be able to challenge for the championship anymore that season.
So in 2001 in Monaco Grand Prix, I went to see the run in the motorhome and I felt it that way. I want to stop. I had races where I wanted to win, and it was definitely a Silverstone and it was definitely Indianapolis. And I won them. I won both of these Grand Prix, and definitely those 2 Grand Prix made me even stronger, making me even feel more comfortable about my decision.
Let us turn our attention to the Italian Grand Prix, the last European race of the season. Mika Häkkinen told us a couple of days ago he's going to take an unpaid year off next year when Kimi Räikkönen, the rookie young Finn, will replace him in the McLaren.
Formula One has been Häkkinen's life for the past 11 years, so what's he going to miss?
Winning, obviously. Excitement of driving a Grand Prix car and seeing the smile in people's face when we get the good result. There's a lot of things what I'm going to miss.
Once you lose the taste for racing, can you ever really get it back, Mark?
I don't think Mika's lost the taste, Jim. I think he's just worn out. It's all about coming back fully recharged, and I think that's what Häkkinen needs. He's been on the road a long, long time.
You feel he will be back?
I think he will be. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't come back, but let's wait. 12 months is a long time.
Then it came 2002, Monaco Grand Prix, and I went to see Ron and said, I do like the complete retirement, and I was very grateful to him. He gave me that opportunity to think about it, and I simply also didn't want to hurt myself. I've been so much through in my career in Formula One, particularly in '95. I thought it's not worth it anymore to push your luck further.